Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the show today, Candace Summers with the McLean County Museum of History. Good morning, Candace. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, and thanks for making time for us today. Glad to have you on the program. And the holidays are here, Candace. Is the museum ready for the holiday season?
We're getting there. We will actually be decorating the first floor with our big Christmas tree next Tuesday, right after Thanksgiving. So yeah, it will start looking like Christmas here soon.
Fantastic. Now, what's Christmas time like at the museum? I mean, is it the big tree? Do you do much more than that? What do you guys like to do for Christmas there at the museum?
We definitely have a great big old, probably like 16-foot tree in our rotunda. Many ladders are brought out to help decorate and put the lights on. And so we get the building ready for the holidays, and then we have a few holiday events coming up, kicking off with our Once Upon a Holiday First Friday. That's part of the Downtown Bloomington First Friday program. And then we also have our Christmas Under the Dome the very next day. So there's a lot that's going to be happening downtown in a couple weeks.
No doubt. And you mentioned the Christmas Under the Dome at the museum. Let's start with that event, Candace. What's it all about?
Yeah, so Christmas Under the Dome, we've been doing since we moved into the building in 1991. And it's a way that we can say thank you to the community for all of the support that they give us throughout the year. And so we have Santa is here, and you can get your picture with Santa. We have cookies that we hand out. We will have hot cider. We are partnering with Hanger Art Gallery right across the street from the museum. We had to kind of modify Christmas Under the Dome this year because our elevator has been giving us some troubles. It's a little old, so sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. So in order to make this event accessible to as many people as possible, we're going to have some of our activities across the street at Hanger Art, and some will be here. At Hanger Art will be Santa and passing out bags of homemade cookies. And we'll have a make-your-own pipe cleaner snowflake craft. And then at the museum, we will have a wide variety of musical acts starting at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We kick off right after the Bloomington JC's Christmas parade, and that ends right outside of our doorstep. So you don't want to miss the free family-friendly activities both at the museum and at Hanger Art Company across the street on Saturday, December 3rd.
So put that on the calendar. Sounds like a great event. A lot of folks probably enjoy that event. The nostalgia factor of a tall Christmas tree in a historic building, and just the simplicity of it. Candace, how about the response you get for that event?
Oh, every year, every single year, unless we have bad weather, that kind of makes an impact. I mean, we probably see an average of 600 to 700 people in one day. One year, wow. I know we had at least 1,000 people come because we just had like picture perfect weather. Mm-hmm. And it's families, entire families come out. Grandmas, grandpas, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, kids of all ages. They all turn out for this event. So we're really excited to be able to keep offering this time-honored tradition in downtown Bloomington right on the museum square.
Fantastic. So absolutely put that on the calendar. That's again when and where, Candace?
Saturday, December 3rd at the museum and Hanger Art Company, which is right across the street from the museum on Jefferson Street. It kicks off at 11 a.m. and goes until 2 p.m.
Did I miss anything with that you want to mention?
Just we hope that a lot of people turn out. Keep your fingers crossed for good weather so you can see the parade and then hop on down to the museum square for all things festival and fun.
Very good. Very good. Candace, what else is on the calendar coming up?
So the day before Christmas Under the Dome, we have our Once Upon a Holiday Downtown Bloomington First Friday. And so that one, we've done that for probably at least 10 years or more. And that one is, again, a free family-friendly event where we're going to have our Santa on the Square photo op right outside of our building. It's modeled after the Livingston department store Santas. They were these 14-foot tall fiberglass Santas that they had mounted on the awning over their building. And we were inspired to create those during Christmas 2020 when we were all staying at home. That way people could engage in a free opportunity with a photo with Santa. And we'll have holiday music in our rotunda. We will have Christmas cookies, hot apple cider, adult eggnog, and we will have the superintendents of Unit 5 and District 87 doing readings of Twice the Night Before Christmas that night as well. So that'll be another really great evening of fun. Plus, lots of other businesses downtown will have all kinds of activities going on and treats and you name it.
Awesome. Very good. So that's going to be a big event, I venture, I guess.
Yeah, and again, weather plays a big part in it. So hopefully we have some mild temperatures, no freak snowstorms to compete with. We don't need 6 feet of snow like they got out in New York.
Oh my goodness, no question,
And
no question.
that is on Friday, December 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m. and it's free. And most of the activities downtown, throughout the downtown, are free that night. So, and I have on good authority, you can definitely load up on Christmas cookies as you hop around the downtown businesses.
Nobody's going to turn down that, right?
Please no. I mean,
right, yes.
Christmas cookies, hot apple cider, eggnog. Yep. I mean, I'm sure there's candy and yeah.
Yep.
You can eat your way through downtown.
Sure. Very good. Very good. Well, Candace, again, anything on those two events I did not mention you want to put out there for us today?
If you need more of the details or want to check your calendars, go to our website, makehistory.org, and you can find both those events on our calendars. That way you can mark your calendar to join us to kick off the holiday season.
Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, our guest on the phone here for this morning. Anything else, Candace, on the calendar coming up you want to make us aware of?
So a couple days before that, the museum, in partnership with the McLean County Genealogical Society and Bloomington Public Library, are hosting author and historian Bill Eisminger, who is doing a presentation on his self-published book, From McLean to Mobile, A History of the 94th Illinois Volunteer Regiment. That is known here in McLean County as the McLean County Regiment because all 1,000 men and officers who were members of that unit were all from McLean County. I mean, that is a pretty common occurrence in Civil War regiments where you had people, whole towns, whole areas sign up to be in these regiments when they were looking for volunteers. And Eisminger's book is going to follow the McLean County Regiment from their commissioning in Bloomington in August of 1862 through their 3 years of service in the Union Army. And that'll include their training, their skirmishes in Missouri, their participation in their first battle of Prairie Grove, Arkansas. They were participating in the siege of Vicksburg, conflicts in Louisiana, and ended up on garrison duty in Brownsville, Texas. And there are so many stories from the men who were in this regiment. Some of them we featured on the cemetery walk in years past, like Colonel McNulta, who actually was a kind of forward thinker in military combat, where he taught his men how to, basically get down low and use almost like guerrilla style tactics in their battle instead of the tried and true, just, marching straight forward into battle where half your men get mowed down by gunfire. So it's going to be a fascinating program where people can actually learn about each of the individual soldiers through this book. So we're really looking forward to having this on Tuesday, November 29th at 6:30 here at the museum, but we're also going to be live streaming it through the museum's YouTube channel if you can't come, and we'll have it loaded afterwards as well.
It's amazing how much those like local historical stories kind of continue on, especially when they're connected to events like, Civil War or, later wars like World War I, World War II. It's amazing how those stories continue to be of interest to people these days.
Absolutely. And not only from a historian's perspective, but also from a genealogical perspective. Speaking of having done my own genealogy for both myself and my husband's families, I always fall down that rabbit hole of research when I come across a member of the family who fought in a conflict. And I want to know more. I want to know about where they were when they were in, service, what they did, how they, were discharged. If, for example, on my mom's side of the family, a distant cousin who was imprisoned at the Civil War prison in Georgia, Andersonville. And the remarks that I've seen in accounts from him, he went in, this healthy, strapping young man. And by the time he got out of Andersonville, he was like 100 pounds lighter and sickly the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So you will come across these powerful stories, and what these men did and what they went through, doing family research or historical research too. And that really helps us learn more, about what individual people did. And it's not just some overarching big, they were at Gettysburg or they were at, Vicksburg. It's the people, their individual experiences who make this history really fascinating.
Definitely. Well, Candace, one more time, highlight that event for us.
Yeah, so that is going to be on November 29th at 6:30 p.m. The McLean County Regiment of History. You can come to the museum for this free program in person, or you can catch it live streaming on the museum's YouTube channel, and you can find that information on our website, mchistory.org.
That is Candace Summers. She is with the McLean County Museum of History, our guest on the phone. We'll take a break here, Candace. Come back, and we're going to dive into the need for volunteers at the museum. Again, Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, is our guest on the phone here for this morning. More to come on the morning show.
WHOW.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
It's flu season. Keep you and your family healthy this winter by rolling up your sleeves to get the flu shot. The SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln is now scheduling patients for flu shots. They emphasize the prevention of future illness by promoting a healthy lifestyle and routine checkups. For more information or to schedule your flu shot, call SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln at 217-735-2317 or click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Forward for happy, healthy families.
At Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pic. CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, my guest on the phone here for today. And Candace, we're going to talk volunteers. And as we come up on the season of giving, perhaps a financial commitment for folks is not something they can perhaps do this year. So maybe they're looking to give more of their time in 2023 and beyond. If they are, the McLean County Museum of History would like them to consider them. How about that?
Yeah, so we do have, a good sized staff here at the museum, but we rely on volunteers like so many other nonprofits do to help us do the work that we do here. And particularly, we have volunteers that help with just about every aspect of work that we do here, from researching for the cemetery walk, actually being, tour guides in the cemetery walk or helping box office. We also have regular volunteers in our library and archives that help patrons answer questions and do research, or help process new collections and other special projects. We have volunteers at our reception desk that greet visitors as they come in or help sell things in our gift shop. We have volunteers in our collections area that might help process artifacts or work on exhibits. There's nowhere in this museum we don't have a volunteer help with, and we definitely always need new people to help us continue to do the work that we do.
Hmm. So what kinds of things are you asking of volunteers? How much time do you ask of them, Candace? What does that commitment look like?
Absolutely. So the time commitment depends on what task you're doing. So for example, like our Christmas under the dome, we have volunteers helping with that, in a couple weeks. And that might be a 2-hour commitment, or if you want to do both shifts, that would be a 4-hour commitment. Our library and reception desk, the shifts down there, we ask that volunteers commit to at least 2 shifts per month. And then those shifts, we have a morning shift from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. and then 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So that you could do either or. And you would be, helping greet visitors as they come in and kind of giving them a little introduction to the museum and how they find their way around, or selling items in our gift shop. You might also, if you're down at the desk, maybe help me with some prep work for crafts that are coming up too. If you're in our library and archive, and want to be a volunteer who helps at the library desk, helps patrons, that's a similar commitment of 2 shifts per month minimum, where there's the morning shift or the afternoon shift. And that one, you wouldn't just sit there waiting for people to come in. Our librarian and archivist would have projects for you to work on, maybe helping them with research queries that we get all the time. We get a lot of research questions about, tell me about my old house, or I'm looking up information on my family. So there's a lot of good research opportunities in our library. You could also help in the education department. So we have school groups that come in that, if we have a large school group, we have to break them up into smaller groups. So you could help facilitate field trip programs or other special events that come along, like our Futures in History camp in the summer. We have different special events that happen throughout the year that might require volunteer assistance. There's really something for everybody here. And it's not just weekdays. We do have some Tuesday evenings and also Saturday opportunities as well. So we, try to work with people and meet them where their schedule can fit best.
Gotcha. Very good. How does one get that process started, Candace, in terms of if they want to be a volunteer? Where do they go? Who do they call? Do they need to stop into the museum? What's that process look like?
Yeah, so you can definitely stop at the museum and ask to speak to our volunteer department. Or easier yet, you can go to our website, makehistory.org, and under the participate button, there's a little link to volunteers and interns. And at the bottom, you can click on a link to fill out our online volunteer form. And it'll ask you what your interests are, so we can help make the best fit for you here to have something that you enjoy doing. And we want this to be a mutually beneficial relationship. Of course, the museum is glad to have your expertise and your hard work, but we want you, the volunteer, to feel fulfilled and that it's meaningful work. And speaking just for myself, I never ask a volunteer or an intern, because we also have interns here as well, to do something that I have either not done myself or won't do myself. I mean, I'm out there, cleaning up stuff in the hallway. I'm out here prepping, craft pieces for an event. These are all integral, meaningful pieces that help us do our work here. And we value each and every one of our volunteers that help us all throughout the year, whether you give just a couple hours a year or if you give 100 hours a year. Every single bit of time that you give to us is very much valued and appreciated.
What have you found volunteership to be like in the last few years, Candace? Has it, with COVID, dropped off? Is it starting to come back? What are the trends like that you've seen over the last several years?
So yeah, COVID had a big impact on volunteering. When everything was starting to open up again, a lot of our volunteers currently are, older folks, older adults. And so that definitely has had an impact on us because, vulnerable populations, we want to help keep them safe. And this is a public institution where we do see a lot of people come through our doors. So that has had an impact with some volunteers dropping off, but we have, seen, new volunteers coming. Remote working has definitely helped encourage people to volunteer that may not have been able to volunteer in the past because now their schedule is flexible. But we're still, trying to come back, and that's why we definitely need some new volunteers and need some new recruits to help us, keep our doors open and keep us able to do a lot of the programs that we do. We cannot do things like the cemetery walk, like answering research questions, or even, having someone at our front desk without volunteers.
Wow. So much goes into that. I never realized that, Candace. I really didn't. And so glad you brought that to light for us here for this morning. Just real quick, Candace, about a minute left with you, maybe a little less than that. Anything volunteership wise we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us today?
If you have any questions about volunteer, like you don't want to commit and fill out the form, you can email the museum at the word volunteers with an S on the end at mchistory.org. And someone from our volunteer department will gladly respond to your email, answer your questions, or, if you even want to just stop by the museum and, pick some people's brains here too. We are happy to answer any question you have about volunteering and hope some folks want to come join us in the work that we do and help bring history to life in our area.
Candace, it's always good to talk to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, and we wish you the best. Appreciate it.
Same to you. Thanks, Seth.
Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, our guest on the phone. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance.